Good morning, everybody, and thank you for giving me the floor. I will just say a few words. First, thank you for inviting me. As you said, my name is Frederic. I work for the Belgian Ministry of Foreign Affairs. I'm no politician, I'm a diplomat. And I am lucky enough to follow the bilateral relations between Belgium and Palestine and between Belgium and Israel from here, Brussels. We are neighbors. Our ministry is there. So just a few words to say that Belgium has good relations with Palestine. Or Minister Kittir was there recently. I was there also with colleagues mid-September, and we had political consultations with our counterparts in Ramallah at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And we, in mid-September, we also went to Israel, and our relations are also relatively good. But the problem is all the potential of those good relations get undermined by violations of the law and by the lack of sustainable peace in the region. And that is not good for Palestinians, that is not good for Israeli, and that is not good for Belgians. So Belgium is part of the European Union. Brussels is at the very heart of the EU. And we strongly advocate for the EU to be very, very involved in finding a solution both with Palestine and Israel. Our position, both from the EU and from Belgium, so far is a two-state solution. You mentioned that is very interesting, that that was the sir there, that physically speaking, infrastructures make it difficult to still envisage a two-state solution. And that is why such debates are interesting, to see, okay, if the Palestinians, the Israeli, they do not want a two-state solution, which is so far the official position. It was reminded recently at the UN General Assembly, both by Prime Minister Lapid and by President Abbas. But I mean, if any other solution would be suitable, of course, Belgium would be, and the EU would be happy to discuss and support dialogue to find the best solution possible. Within our government agreement, the current Vivaldi government that you might have read in the news today for some other reasons, the peace process in the Middle East is central. And another specific measure that is mentioned black on white is differentiation. You touched upon it. We do not it's no question in the government agreements about sanctions. It's question about differentiating, because it is a legal and political obligation between the products that come from a legal position or a position that is illegally occupied. So the Belgian government and different ministries, from the finance, the customs, they are working concretely on it. And of course, we try to do that with our EU friends. We also expressed deep concerns about the 6 NGOs that were labeled as terrorists. You mentioned them earlier on, along with 8 other member states and the EU, because, of course, terrorism is a serious concern and we have to fight it. But we analyzed, together with our Israeli friends, the content of the case, and we could not find any evidence about it. So, so far, we keep working with the Palestinian civil society, and we expressed deep concerns about the risk of fragilizing or making weaker the right to freedom of expression, assembly, and the important role that civil society can play. There was recently a meeting of the Association Council between the EU and Israel on the 3rd of October, Belgium is in favor of having also a high-level political dialogue between the EU and Palestine. Of course, and that was said also, for being the more successful, for having the more chances for achieving progress, and my Swedish colleague said it, it's very important also to have a democratic renewal in Palestine and within the Palestinian Authority. So that is why Belgium is also strongly in favor of organizing elections in Palestine. To conclude, and for being short as I promised to be, just say again thank you to EUPAC, because such meetings where we can address different subjects raise awareness, including for me, about things we might not be aware of in a very open dialogue that is very important, I think, to identify solutions together. Thank you very much.